What's up, my YouTube family? Welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and a few weeks back I put out a video showing you a Bullet King Negotiators Dilemma build, and some of you reached out to the channel asking if I had any other LMGs that I would use based around this gear set. The answer is absolutely yes. Therefore today I'm showing you a build based around the new Reliable. It is a ton of fun to use regardless if you're running solo or in a group. Now, if you happen to be new here, first of all, welcome. Secondly, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family. And if you enjoyed this or found it helpful at all, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really does help us out. Finally, as most of you know, we have giveaways here. Our current one is for an Xbox Series S. To enter, all you need to do is subscribe here or follow on Twitter, and the winner will be announced on April 4th of this year. So one of the things I like to mention at the beginning of every build video I put together is I want to remind new and returning players that this is just a template. This is one of so many ways you can put a build like this together, and the most important thing is to truly take your time and make a build your own. And what I mean when I say that is you may look at this build and think to yourself, you know what, I want a different talent on the weapon, or you want something different on the chest piece. You may want more armor or more weapon damage. Again, try out different variations and really put something together that caters to your game style. You can see here I'm running a bounty on heroic difficulty and I'm just shredding NPCs. The weapon is so much fun to use. Now, as always, I'm starting off with a little bit of gameplay, then we're going to cut to the build itself, and then at the end of the video I'll show you a little more gameplay, and at that point I also like to pass along a few tips to new and returning players which should hopefully help you get started anytime you're trying out a new build. Starting off with the specialization, I'm using Gunner for a bunch of different reasons. I love having the riot foam grenades. This specialization also gives you a rate of fire increase, a weapon handling increase, a reload speed increase, and regardless of which specialization you choose, you want to make sure you have the proper weapons activated in your weapon skill tree. That way, no matter which weapon you use, you're getting that 15% weapon damage bonus. Moving on to the build itself, starting with the primary weapon, it is the new Reliable LMG, and this thing shoots like a laser beam because of its talent perfectly optimized, where you're going to get a 30% weapon handling bonus when you're using this gun. Now, if you don't have this weapon as yet, there are a bunch of different ways you can farm for it. You can use targeted loot either in the open world or in the summit. You can also get this weapon from named caches, and I've also seen the gunrunner Cassie Mendoza have it from time to time. Another option for those of you that may not have this weapon, or let's say you just don't need the extra weapon handling because you're already a surgeon with an LMG, you can use something like the Black Market RPK. You have a bunch of different talents to use from. You can see here I'm using Frenzy, but I know a lot of people out there that use the talent Measured or use the talent Strained. Again, try out different things and see which works best for you. As far as the secondary is concerned, it's really dealer's choice. Whatever you want to choose is totally good. I'm using a Vector with talent Close and Personal. You can run with that. You could run with, the Scorpio or another shotgun. Moving on to the handgun, it's the TDI card, but with this build, I really don't touch it that much. Now moving on to the gear itself, you can see I'm running 4 Negotiators, 1 Grupo, and 1 Petrov. The reason we're running 4 Negotiators is so we get all of the gear set bonuses. You can see here, starting with the mask, 2-piece bonus is 15% crit hit chance, 3-piece bonus is 20% crit hit damage, and 4-piece is hostile negotiations. Critical hit marks enemies for 20 seconds, up to 3 marks total. When you critically hit a marked enemy, all other marked enemies take 60% of the damage dealt. Whenever a marked enemy dies, gain 2% critical hit damage, stacking up to 20 times or until combat ends. Now, as far as the attributes go for all of these pieces, I'm trying to stack crit hit chance and crit hit damage everywhere I can, but keep in mind you're going to be dependent on what you actually have in your inventory. Now, moving on to the body armor, it's the 1 piece of Grupo I have equipped, so I get that 15% crit hit damage bonus. Now, for the talent, I've chosen Braced, because with Braced you get a 45% weapon handling increase, and when you combine that with not only my weapon, but also when you add the specialization bonus you get as well, you're looking at 85% weapon handling bonus, which makes this thing shoot like an absolute laser. Now again, for those of you that do not have this weapon, or you may not need that extra weapon handling, you have a bunch of different talents you can choose from. You have Braced, Overwatch, Glass Cannon. I know a lot of people use Obliterate, so again, try out different things and make this thing your own. Moving on to the next 2 pieces of the Negotiators gear set, we have the holster and the knee pad. pads, again, I'm trying to stack crit hit chance and crit hit damage. With these knee pads, they rolled with headshot damage. I would much rather that be crit hit damage or weapon handling, but again, you get what you get. Next, my friends, we have the Contractors Gloves, and in my opinion, they are still one of the best pieces of gear in the game. You not only get that 10% LMG damage bonus, but more importantly, that middle attribute, that 8% damage to armor, absolutely shreds NPCs. Last but not least, my friends, we have the backpack. It is the fourth and final piece of the Negotiators gear set, and the reason we're using the bag is when you use the Negotiators bag, you get the talent critical measures, which increases the hostile negotiations damage to additional marked enemies from 60% to 100%, which does make a huge difference when you're looking at the actual damage you're putting out. Now, as far as my skills are concerned, I'm using the assault drone and the assault turret because they both put out damage and they are a great distraction to NPCs. And as you look at my stats, I'm sitting at 59% crit hit chance. Remember, the max is 60 and my crit hit damage is at 133. And as I start to wrap this video up, this is the point in which I like to pass along a few tips to new and returning players, which should hopefully help you when you get started with any new build. And one of the first things I recommend is when you're trying something out for the first time, go to a mission control point bounty, something that you're used to, because that way you know the timing of the NPC and you can truly see how the build responds to your gameplay. I also strongly recommend having different variations of a build. Have one for solo play, have one for group play, go to the shooting range, see what works. I mean, you saw with this build, I was stacking crit hit chance and crit hit damage on most of my pieces. However, and obviously this is dependent on the gear you have, but you may want to try to stack weapon handling everywhere, because the reality is if you have better control of a weapon, you're hitting your targets more consistently, therefore you're putting out more damage. So again, try different things. One thing I want to do really quick is give a shout out to number Mad Dog 000. I am in your squad in this footage. I kept having server issues. I was disconnected. I was like losing. It was just a hot mess. So I died like 2 or 3 times. I'm sorry if that messed you up. It was great playing with you, and thank you for your patience, my friend. Most of you know by now that one of my favorite aspects about having this channel and putting these builds together is the community that we have here. So as always, if you have any tips or tricks you want to pass along to new and returning players, please let me know in the comment section down below. As always, I'd like to take a moment and thank you all for the incredible support you've shown me at the channel, and remind you, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor, hit that like button as well, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.